I was sent here by Mr. Blackfish. I'm looking for information about Gregor
God,
Herschel,
finally.
a colonial ship owner.
Well, you've come to the right place, man. It so happens that my father's great-grandfather, Milius Proca, had close dealings with him. I should have some documents passed on to me by my father. Give me a little time to look. Let's say tomorrow. Same time, same place.
What's up with your eyes? Oh my god. Okay. Tomorrow, so I'm gonna go home? I guess? Yes. Home. How do I sleep? Why am I allowed in here now? That doesn't make any sense.
William, it's been so long.
I'm here to see how you are. When you came to my house 2 days ago,
I'm sorry, my memory fails me frequently.
when you came to my house, you seemed very disturbed, as if you were in some danger.
Forget anything I said to you. I was upset. Let's forget it.
Dr. Eagleton is worried about your health. So is your father. Edgar, are you sure everything's fine?
I'm relying on you to reassure them. Everything's fine now. Allow me to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Owens.
Valenti non fiduciaria. Don't forget what we must do, Mr. Wycherley. Age quod ages. I shall await you in the bungalow.
I'll leave you to your work, Edgar.
William, goodbye. Please be so kind as to give my regards to Mr. Eagleton and inform him that you yourself have observed that everything here is fine.
Why is it so creepy? Everything in this and everyone in this is just too creepy. Why don't I have a reflection? You have a reflection, but I do not. So I just leave?
Hello, Dr. Eagleton? I've seen Edgar recently. He really does seem very disturbed.
Please stay at home. If you don't mind, I'm going to come and see you. We'll be able to speak about it more easily.
Hello, Doctor. You wish to have my opinion. I'm sorry to tell you that I found my friend far from his old self. At first, he didn't recognize me. He introduced me to Dr. Owens, who was even stranger than Edgar. As I was leaving, he seemed to be crying out for help. Then he proceeded to address me formally using a highly outmoded style of language. I am truly mystified. Could you enlighten me as to the exact nature of his research?
The first thing Edgar discovered amongst the papers of several Providence families was mail addressed to Gregor Herschel or written by him. These letters had been intercepted by the local population with the hope of finding out what he was up to. Then he found Herschel's work documents. Edgar revealed to me one day that the papers of his ancestor contained some incredible scientific secrets, for the most part written in a coded language, and that he was trying to acquire the ancient arts needed to understand what it was all about. He then explained to me that he was scouring the cemeteries for the gravestone of Gregor Herschel, which should bear an inscription made up of mystical symbols that he needed to decipher the manuscript.
The odd thing was that I had the impression that he didn't speak freely.
I fear that he's under the influence of this Dr. Owens. There's only one way to guarantee his safety: to have him committed. Thank you for your valuable help, William. Continue your investigations, my boy. We need to know what lies behind all this.
Do I go to the graveyard now, or what? I'm just gonna leave you in my house then, I guess.
Good day, Mr. Wycherley. If I may be so bold, I would like very much to look at Edgar's research papers.
But of course, come on in. Yesterday, Dr. Eagleton spoke to me of the psychological problems Edgar is suffering from, and which, in his opinion, are partly connected to his studies. On returning from his travels, Edgar generally shut himself up in his room to work. He used to lock himself in and under no circumstances could be disturbed. He was deciphering photographic copies of an ancient manuscript. Then he began to get interested in chemistry and to hang around cemeteries. The acrid odors that sometimes came from his room were becoming truly intolerable. Edgar seemed to have gone out of his mind, letting out shrieks and having conversations when there was nobody there. On the 15th of April, I remember the date because it was Good Friday. Mrs. Wycherley was listening anxiously in the corridor to strange chants in foreign tongues and a series of syllables ending in ya, whereupon she fainted. That evening, we had a lengthy conversation in the office, during which I warned him that, whatever the purpose of his research, I could no longer tolerate such conduct. It was on that day that he resolved to move to Pawtuxet. His room is upstairs, William. We have left it just as it was on the day he left.
Okay, you need to go upstairs. Bam, bam, up the stairs. Here, here, everywhere. All the way upstairs? What? Just, no. Books. Okay. Don't like those sounds, okay. Why does he have a fireplace in his room? Oh, what is that? Key. Nope. What's the key for? This? No. I don't know what the key is for. What is the key for? Doesn't look like this is an upstairs at all. I'm gonna search around here some more and other places. Oh, no? No. Yes. Shoo. There's nothing. Shoo. There's nothing. 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 Oh god, the drawers. Nothing. What is this? I don't know what that is. this. Huh. Cool. But no. Holy smokes. Kleinstrasse 11, Alston, Prague. 11th February 1928. Brother in Almusen, Metatron. I received your letter today telling of what you have caused to emerge from the salts that I sent to you. The disappointing result clearly proves that the steel had been changed when Erebus obtained the specimen for me. This often happens, as you must know, after the body that you took from King's Chapel Cemetery in 1769, and after what H removed from the old resting ground in 1690, which nearly cost him his life. The exact same thing happened to me in Egypt 75 years ago, which is how I got the scar that the young man saw on my face in 1924. As I said to you a long time back, do not invoke any spirit that you cannot dominate, whether it be from dead salts or from the spheres beyond. Always have the expulsion words ready, and do not stop to make sure when you doubt the identity of who you have. All the steel have been changed in 9 of the 10 cemeteries. You are never sure of anything until you have asked. I've received news from H today, who has had problems with the militia. He regrets that Transylvania has passed from Hungarian to Romanian control, and would change his place of residence if his castle was not so full of you-know-what. In my next communication there shall be something from an eastern tomb that shall bring you great pleasure. Okay. Meanwhile, do not forget that I want to have B. F. If you can procure him for me. What? You know G of Philadelphia better than me. Use him before me if you wish, but not too severely because I need to speak to him afterwards. Yog Sothis Nebludzin. What in the heck? To Mr. G.H. of Providence. Simon O. Okay.